So I want to talk a little bit about being a sane nurse, being a sexual assault nurse examiner. This is super important. This is something a lot of people, nurses, the community just look over. When you watch these CSI movies, Law and Order TV shows, all of these, forensic movies, a lot of people like yelling at the top of their lungs, go get a rape kit, go get a rape kit, go get a rape kit. Yes, go get a rape kit. Do you know who's responsible for that rape kit? Yes. It is you and me. It is I. It is us. It is us nurses that are responsible for getting these rape kits done, right? How many nurses are certified to get this done correctly? So hopefully we can get the evidence needed so that the victim can get some kind of justice, This is hugely important, especially in the culture that we're in right now. I know at the number one thing every victim that has come out that has accused any man for doing anything, it's, why didn't you do it at the time? Why didn't you go get a rape kit? Why didn't you do it at the time? Why didn't you go get a rape kit, right? That is huge. That is huge. So we want to make sure when these women are brave enough, are emotionally able to get it done at the time of the situation or a day later, whatever the situation is, we, us nurses, want to make sure that we are, trained enough to get it done right. So we're not messing up the system. We're not making it worse for the victim and making the victim have to stress not only about this shitty, impossible situation that she has been through, but have to also worry about, is my nurse qualified to do this test? All right. So it's just a little quick story about a quick story. This is just one story from a rape victim that went to a hospital. She went to a hospital after the night that the rape occurred. When she got there, the nurse has never never done it, wasn't trained to do it, and she was just like, this is absolutely insane. So Kate O'Brien woke up after she woke up in a stranger's apartment. Her body was numb. She didn't know where she was, but she knew that she was in some type of fear. She knew, this is not right. I don't know what is happening. She thought she was drugged. She thought she might have been drugged after talking to a few friends. So in a Chicago emergency room that she went into that morning in 2009, her nurse was kind but clearly nervous as she opened the evidence collection box known as a rape kit. Kate says, it's a little weird to hear, oh, this is my first time doing this. It makes me feel very unimportant, like what had happened to me wasn't a big deal, so it doesn't require someone who really knows what they're doing. And this is not, and like I'm saying, like this is just one specific story that the article was written about, but bigger picture, and especially in Cleveland, and I'll give you those numbers, this is not unusual. And after I tell you those numbers, you'll understand why it's not unusual. Of course it's not unusual when there's very, very little nurses that are trained to examine rape kits, to have the rape kit happen, like to do it correctly, right? There are more than 196,000 registered nurses in Illinois. Only 32 nurses. 32 nurses. That's probably, I don't know Illinois like, I've never been there. I don't know the stats, but that's probably one per hospital in the state. It's crazy, right? So only 32 nurses in the state are certified by the International Association of Forensic Nurses to work with adult sexual assault patients. 12 of those sexual assault nurse examiners, known as Sane or forensic nurses, are certified to treat children. That's insane. That to me is insane. I had no idea that it was that few nurses that were actually trained. And like I said, this is only Illinois. This is only Chicago. I don't know Massachusetts. I don't know New York. I don't know California. I don't know those numbers. What I am looking at is the numbers in Chicago, Illinois, where the story was written, where this article was made. So, just expanding this. I'm assuming that the numbers aren't like one nurse per, there's one nurse on every unit that knows how to do this. I'm assuming it's not like that, right? But I think it should become a standard for nurses, at least at the hospitals, to have one nurse per unit, especially if it's the ED. If it's the ED, you need at least 2-3 nurses. This is the worst situation in like your life, right? This is the scariest moment in your life. The last thing you want to worry about is after having the courage and the strength to go in to get your body, touched and probed and, it's not a fun situation. After the worst violation of your body, you go into hospital to get tests done on your entire body, feeling insanely vulnerable, and then you have to worry about the nurse knowing what he or she is doing. I can't imagine that, and I don't wish that on any human being, not even my worst enemy, right? So I really do hope that with this kind of push, we can get more sane nurses in EDs, in ICUs, in all of nursing, so these victims can get the justice they so deserve. The very little justice if we do these rape kits correctly.